High Counselor Luminara stared through the massive window of the Galactic Council chamber, her luminescent form dimming with worry. The problems were piling up faster than their perfect solutions could handle. 3 agricultural worlds were facing crop failures. 2 space stations had critical systems breaking down. And now, a strange disease was spreading across the Meridian sector. "We have no choice," she said, her voice soft but clear in the silent chamber. "We must invite the humans to join the council." The room erupted in protests. Ambassador Crystalline, their most experienced diplomat, shifted their crystalline form in distress, creating a symphony of tinkling sounds. "The Deathworlders," Crystalline asked. "They're primitive. Their solutions lack elegance. They break more things than they fix." And yet, Luminara countered, "They survive. They thrive. On a world that should have killed them thousands of times over." The data screens around them showed Earth, a death trap of a planet with crushing gravity, extreme temperature swings, aggressive microbes, and dangerous predators. Yet humans had not only survived there, but had built mighty cities and reached for the stars. In London, Oliver Matthews was having a perfectly normal day fixing a broken factory robot with duct tape and a rubber band when the call came. The factory owner, Mr. Thomas, watched in horror as Oliver kicked the robot gently, making it whir back to life. "That's not in the manual," Mr. Thomas muttered. "Manual?" Oliver grinned, wiping grease from his hands. "Haven't read one since engineering school. Sometimes you just need to give things a little encouragement." That's when both their phones buzzed with an urgent government message. Oliver's eyes widened as he read it. The Galactic Council wanted him. Him, of all people. Across town, in a biochemistry lab at Imperial College London, Eleanor Thompson was growing bacteria in a petri dish while humming an old Beatles song. Her colleagues called her methods unusual, but they couldn't argue with her results. Where others saw contamination, Helly saw opportunity. Where others sought sterile conditions, she introduced controlled chaos. Her phone buzzed too. As she read the message, a smile spread across her face. "Well, that's different," she murmured. 2 days later, Oliver and Ellie stood in a spotless room in the British Space Agency, facing a hologram of Ambassador Crystalline. The crystalline being's facets sparkled as they spoke. "Your world is dangerous," Crystalline said. "Your methods are unorthodox. But we need help. The Council needs help. Will you join us?" Oliver looked at the perfectly clean room and couldn't help himself. He pulled out a small toolkit from his pocket. "Mind if I fix that flickering in your hologram? Looks like a loose connection somewhere." The officials gasped as Oliver crawled under the hologram projector, but minutes later, the image was crystal clear. Crystalline stared in amazement. "You didn't even run a diagnostic?" they asked. "Sometimes you just need to trust your gut," Oliver replied, then realized the alien might not understand the phrase. Experience. Ellie stepped forward. "What my colleague means is that humans have learned to adapt quickly and solve problems with whatever we have on hand. It's not always pretty, but it works." "Pretty?" Crystalline's form shimmered with curiosity. "We seek perfection in all things. Your methods seem chaotic." "Chaos isn't always bad," Ellie said, thinking of her bacteria cultures. "Sometimes it's exactly what you need." The hologram flickered again, but this time it was intentional as Crystalline communicated with the Council. When they spoke again, their voice carried a note of resignation mixed with hope. "The Council accepts. You will join us on the Central Station. We have many problems that need solving." As Oliver and Ellie packed for their journey to the stars, neither knew they were about to turn the galaxy's idea of problem-solving upside down. Sometimes the best solutions weren't perfect. Sometimes they involved duct tape, good timing, and a bit of luck. And sometimes, just sometimes, you had to give things a little kick to make them work right. The aliens were about to learn that lesson. whether they were ready for it or not. The alien agricultural world of Prima Nova looked like a giant failed garden to Oliver and Ellie. Row after row of withered plants stretched across the purple soil. The local aliens, tall beings with light green skin, walked around with their heads down, looking defeated. 3 growing seasons with no crops, said the farm leader, William. He had chosen an Earth name to make the humans comfortable. Our moisture-controlled environments failed. Our nutrient delivery systems stopped working. Everything must be perfect or nothing grows. Oliver walked through the fields, his boots leaving prints in the dusty ground. He picked up a handful of soil and let it run through his fingers. Ellie took samples with her basic testing kit. "Your soil is dead," Ellie said simply. "No bacteria, no worms, no life at all. You've sterilized everything." The aliens looked proud. "Of course, we removed all contaminants. Pure soil, pure water, pure nutrients." Oliver and Ellie shared a knowing look. Back on Earth, they had learned about the Great Dust Bowl, about farms that failed because the soil lost its life. They had also learned how to fix it. "We need earthworms," Oliver said. "And compost," Ellie added. "What?" William's green skin turned slightly pale. "You want to put earth creatures in our pure soil. And rotting material." "Soil isn't meant to be pure," Ellie explained. "It needs to be alive." Back on Earth, one handful of good soil has more living things in it than there are people on your planet. The aliens looked horrified, but they had no choice. Their people needed food. 3 days later, a ship arrived from Earth carrying boxes of earthworms, bags of compost, and seeds of hardy plants that could grow in tough conditions. Oliver started teaching the aliens about crop rotation, while Ellie explained how beneficial bacteria helped plants grow. "But it's so messy," William complained as they mixed compost into the soil. "And these worms, they're eating our pure soil." "They're making it better," Oliver said. "Sometimes the best solutions aren't the cleanest ones." A week passed. Then 2. The aliens watched in amazement as tiny green shoots pushed through the soil. The earthworms multiplied, turning the dead purple dirt into rich, dark soil. Ellie's bacteria cultures spread through the ground, creating a web of life. "But we're not controlling everything anymore," William said, watching a worm wiggle through the soil. "How do we know it will work?" "That's the beauty of it," Ellie said. "Life finds a way. These plants and creatures evolved on Earth, the hardest planet to survive on. They're tough. They adapt." Oliver set up simple irrigation systems using pipes and gravity instead of the aliens' complex computer-controlled networks. "If something breaks, you can fix it with basic tools," he explained. "No need for fancy parts." The aliens learned to make compost, turning food waste and plant material into rich fertilizer. They stopped trying to control every aspect of growing and started working with nature instead of against it. A month later, the fields were green with wheat, potatoes, and other hardy earth crops. The aliens couldn't believe their eyes when they pulled the first potato from the ground. "It's so big," William said, holding the potato like it was made of gold. "And we grew it without perfect conditions." "Sometimes imperfect is better," Oliver said. "These plants are strong because they have to work a little bit to survive, just like humans." Ambassador Crystalline visited to see the progress and found aliens happily digging in the dirt with their hands, something they had never done before. The ambassador watched as William excitedly showed off his earthworm farm. "You've changed more than just the farming," Crystalline said to Oliver and Ellie. "You've changed how they think about perfection." Ellie smiled as she watched alien children chasing butterflies they had brought from Earth. Sometimes the best solutions come from working with nature, not trying to control it completely. The success on Prima Nova was just the beginning. Word spread through the galaxy about the humans who fixed a dying world with worms and dirty soil. But Oliver and Ellie knew their next challenge would be even bigger. After all, crops were simple compared to fixing a failing space station. And somewhere in the galaxy, a space station's life support systems were beginning to fail. The stellar station Alpha was the pride of the Galactic Council's engineering. At least, it used to be. Now, red warning lights flashed everywhere, and the station's perfect white halls felt too warm. The life support systems were failing, and 300 aliens were at risk. Oliver wiped sweat from his forehead as he looked at the station's main control room. 20 alien engineers stood around, all arguing about the perfect solution while nothing got fixed. "The temperature is rising by 1 degree every hour," said Robert, the station's chief engineer, another alien who had chosen an Earth name. "We must achieve perfect balance in the cooling systems before we can." A loud bang echoed through the station, and more warning lights flashed. "No more waiting," Oliver said, pulling out his toolbox. "Ellie, can you help me reach the main cooling unit?" The alien engineers watched in horror as Oliver and Ellie crawled through the maintenance tunnels. These tunnels were supposed to be accessed only after filing proper paperwork and running complete diagnostics. "Look at this mess," Oliver said, shining his flashlight on the cooling unit. "The main pump is stuck. That's why the backup systems are failing too." "Can we fix it?" Ellie asked, though she already knew Oliver's answer. "There's always a way to fix things," he said with a grin. He pulled out a hammer from his toolkit. The aliens gasped. "You cannot hit delicate machinery," Robert protested. "We need to order new parts and—" "TLN." Oliver gave the pump a solid hit in just the right spot. The machine shuddered, then hummed back to life. Cool air began flowing through the station again. "Sometimes," Oliver explained, "machines just need a little persuasion." But they weren't done yet. The station had other problems. The water recycling system was working too perfectly, filtering out minerals that people needed. The artificial gravity kept trying to achieve perfect balance and instead made everyone dizzy. "Your systems are too complex," Oliver told the alien engineers. "You've got backup systems for your backup systems. When one thing goes wrong, everything goes wrong." He taught them about redundancy that made sense. Simple mechanical backups that could work even if the computers failed. Ellie helped him set up manual overrides that any crew member could use in an emergency. "But it's not elegant," Robert complained as Oliver installed a simple hand pump for emergencies. "Anyone could use this." "Exactly," Oliver said. "That's the point. In an emergency, you need solutions that anyone can use, not just experts." The aliens watched in amazement as Oliver fixed their perfect systems with what they saw as primitive tools. He added manual pressure gauges next to the digital ones. He installed simple mechanical switches as backups for the computer controls. "Think of it like this," Ellie explained to the alien engineers. "If you were stuck in a room with a broken door, would you rather have a perfect AI system that's not working, or a simple handle you can turn by hand?" The aliens began to understand when a power fluctuation hit the station. While their perfect systems went into shutdown mode, Oliver's manual backups kept the essential services running. "This is why humans survived on Earth," Oliver told them as they worked. "We learned to fix things fast, not perfectly. Sometimes you need duct tape instead of a computer." "What is this duct tape you speak of?" Robert asked. Oliver pulled out a roll of silver tape from his toolkit. "This might be humanity's greatest invention. Watch and learn." Over the next few days, Oliver and Ellie taught the alien engineers about human-style repairs. They learned about Murphy's Law. If something can go wrong, it will. They learned about keeping spare parts and simple tools handy. Most importantly, they learned that a quick fix that works is better than a perfect fix that comes too late. By the time Ambassador Crystalline arrived to check on their progress, the station was running better than ever. It wasn't running perfectly, but it was running reliably, and any crew member could fix basic problems. "You've done it again," Crystalline said, watching an alien engineer confidently use a manual override switch. "But I hear there's a medical crisis needing attention next." Oliver looked at Ellie. They both knew that fixing machines was one thing. Dealing with alien diseases would be something else entirely. But they were ready for the challenge. After all, humans were good at handling the unexpected. The medical center on Planet Medica was the most sterile place Ellie had ever seen. Everything was white, gleaming, and completely free of germs. It was also full of very sick aliens. "It makes no sense," said Dr. Mary, yet another alien using an Earth name. "We've eliminated all harmful organisms. Our patients are in completely sterile rooms, yet this illness keeps spreading." Ellie looked through her microscope at blood samples from the sick aliens. Their immune systems were practically non-existent. Meanwhile, Oliver helped set up some basic Earth medical equipment they had brought along. "Tell me," Ellie asked, "have your people always lived in completely clean environments?" "Of course," Dr. Mary said proudly. "We achieved perfect sterility 50 years ago. No harmful organisms anywhere." Ellie and Oliver shared a knowing look. They had seen this before in human medicine. People who lived in too clean environments often got sick easily. "I think I know the problem," Ellie said. "Your people's immune systems have nothing to fight against, so they've forgotten how to fight at all." The alien doctor looked confused. "Fight? We don't want our bodies to fight. We want them to be clean and perfect." "But that's not how bodies work," Ellie explained. "Look at Earth. It's full of germs and bacteria. But humans are healthy because our bodies learn to fight them off. We get stronger through the challenge." The alien medical staff watched in horror as Ellie took out samples of harmless Earth bacteria. She had chosen the weakest, safest ones, the kind that lived in yogurt and helped digestion. "You want to put those things in our patients?" Dr. Mary asked in shock. "Just a tiny bit," Ellie said. "Think of it like training. If you want to get stronger, you need to exercise. If you want your immune system to get stronger, it needs to practice with safe bacteria." Oliver set up simple air filters that would allow some natural organisms to exist in the hospital while keeping out the truly dangerous ones. "Your air is too clean," he explained. "Some bacteria are actually good for you." The alien doctors were scared, but they had run out of options. They started with one volunteer patient, giving them a tiny dose of Ellie's harmless bacteria. To everyone's surprise, except the humans, the patient began to improve within days. "Their immune system is waking up," Ellie explained. "It's remembering how to fight off infections." Gradually, they treated more patients. Oliver taught the hospital staff how to maintain a balance in their cleaning systems, clean enough to be safe, but not so clean that it was harmful. "Think of your body like a defense system," Ellie told the patients. "If your defenders never practice, they won't know what to do in a real fight." Some of the alien children found it exciting to learn about the helpful bacteria in their bodies. They started calling them their tiny defenders and made up stories about them fighting off bad germs. Dr. Mary was amazed at the results. "But we were taught that all organisms besides ourselves were harmful." "Life isn't that simple," Ellie said. "Earth taught us that we need to work with nature, not against it. Some bacteria help us digest food. Some fungi make medicine. Even some viruses can be useful." As the patients recovered, the aliens began to understand. They started making their own yogurt with safe bacteria. They learned about probiotics and how to keep their bodies naturally healthy. Ambassador Crystalline visited the hospital and found it transformed. The air was still clean, but not sterile. Patients were getting better. The doctors were learning about Earth's medical practices with great interest. "You've changed their whole approach to medicine," Crystalline said to Ellie and Oliver. "We just showed them what Earth taught us," Ellie replied. "Sometimes the best way to stay healthy is to get a little dirty." As they packed up their equipment, news arrived from the Galactic Council. Their success was causing quite a stir. Some alien species wanted to learn more about Earth's natural methods, while others were afraid of changing their perfect systems. "Looks like we've started quite a debate," Oliver said. Ellie smiled. "Good. Sometimes you need to shake things up to make them better. They didn't know it yet, but their biggest challenge was still to come. The galaxy was about to face a crisis that would test everyone's beliefs about perfection versus practicality. The great meeting hall of the Galactic Council was in chaos. Half of the alien representatives were shouting about the dangers of human methods, while the other half praised their effectiveness. High Counselor Luminara watched from her floating platform as the debate grew heated. "Order," she called out, her form glowing brightly to get everyone's attention. "We are here to discuss the impact of human solutions on our society." Oliver and Ellie sat quietly in their designated seats, watching the scene unfold. Ambassador Crystalline stood nearby, their crystal form reflecting the various colors of the angry aliens around them. "These humans have made our perfect farms dirty," shouted one alien representative. "But the farms are producing more food than ever," countered another. "They hit our machines with hammers. And now our space station works better than before. They put bacteria in our hospitals. And our people are getting healthier." Oliver leaned over to Ellie and whispered, "Reminds me of that time I suggested using duct tape to fix the university's expensive lab equipment." A tall blue alien named Peter, one of the first to adopt human methods, stood up to speak. "Look at what we've learned from Earth," he said. "Their planet tried to kill them thousands of times, but they kept finding ways to survive. Not perfect ways, but ways that work." The council chamber grew quiet as Peter showed videos of the changes. Farmers happily working in rich, living soil. Engineers confidently fixing machines with simple tools. Doctors understanding how to balance cleanliness with natural health. "Some of our young people have even asked to visit Earth," Peter continued. "They want to learn how humans think." This caused another uproar. Send their children to a death world. It was unthinkable. Ambassador Crystalline moved to the center of the chamber. "I have seen Earth," they said. "It is dangerous, yes. But that danger has taught humans to be strong, clever, and adaptable. Perhaps we have been too focused on perfection." High Counselor Luminara raised her hand for silence. "Oliver Matthews and Eleanor Thompson," she called. "Please explain to the council why your methods work." Oliver stood up first. "On Earth, we learned that perfect solutions often fail when things get messy. And life always gets messy. So we learned to be flexible, to fix things quickly, to use what we have." Ellie joined him. "Earth taught us that life is stronger when it faces challenges. Plants grow stronger in living soil. Bodies get stronger when they fight off minor infections. Even machines work better when they're built to handle problems." "But it's not elegant," protested one of the alien representatives. "It's not perfect." "No," Oliver agreed. "It's not perfect. It's better than perfect. It's reliable." The debate continued for hours. In the end, the council made a historic decision. They would create a new training program where humans would teach their problem-solving methods to other species. But they would also keep the best parts of alien technology and combine them with human practicality. "Think of it like this," Ellie explained to a group of worried aliens. "You have amazing technology. We have amazing adaptability. Together, we can be better than either of us alone." Ambassador Crystalline approached Oliver and Ellie after the meeting. "You've started a revolution," they said. "Some species are already calling it a practical revolution. Will everyone accept it?" Oliver asked, watching some of the angry representatives leave the chamber. "Not everyone," Crystalline admitted. "Change is hard. But they'll learn, especially when the next crisis comes." As if on cue, emergency lights began flashing throughout the council chamber. Multiple worlds were sending distress signals at once. "Speaking of the next crisis," Ellie said, already reaching for her equipment. High Counselor Luminara's voice rang out. "We need human and alien teams on this immediately. Show us how we can work together." Oliver and Ellie looked at each other and smiled. This was their biggest challenge yet, teaching the galaxy how to combine human practicality with alien technology. And somewhere in the galaxy, several worlds were about to learn just how effective that combination could be. The emergency control room of the Galactic Council was filled with flashing screens and worried faces. 4 different worlds were in trouble at once. A massive solar storm was heading toward 2 colony planets. An underwater city was losing its dome strength, and a mining station near a black hole was being pulled out of its safe orbit. We need perfect solutions for each problem, an alien controller said, his tentacles typing on multiple screens at once. We don't have time for perfect, Oliver said, looking at the countdown timers. We have less than 6 hours before the first disaster hits. Helly was already organizing their response. She had learned this kind of emergency management during Earth's natural disasters. We need to split into teams, she said, and we need to work on all problems at once. High Counselor Luminara looked worried. But our protocols say we must solve problems one at a time. Perfectly. Your protocols will get people killed, Oliver said bluntly. We need to try something new. Ambassador Crystalline backed them up. Let the humans show us their way. Oliver and Ellie quickly organized mixed teams of humans and aliens. They had brought more Earth experts to help. Emergency responders, engineers, and scientists who were used to working under pressure. First rule of emergency management, Oliver announced to the room. Perfect is the enemy of good enough. We don't need perfect solutions. We need solutions that work right now. For the solar storm planets, they couldn't build perfect shields in time. Instead, they had people dig underground shelters and use available materials to create basic radiation protection. It wasn't elegant, but it would keep people alive. The underwater city team, led by Ellie, found a way to strengthen the dome using emergency patches and simple pressure distribution. Like fixing a bike tire, she explained to the alien engineers, who had never seen a bike but understood the concept. The mining station was the hardest problem. They couldn't perfectly calculate a new orbit in time. Instead, Oliver suggested using the station's mining equipment in reverse, shooting out material to push the station away from the black hole. It's messy, he admitted, but it will give us the push we need. The alien controllers watched in amazement as the humans and their alien partners worked quickly, solving problems with whatever they had available. They didn't follow the proper protocols. They didn't file the correct paperwork. They just fixed things. This is what we call triage, Ellie explained to High Counselor Luminara. When you have multiple emergencies, you have to decide what needs fixing first and how good the fix needs to be. Hour by hour, the solutions worked. The solar storm hit the colonies, but everyone was safe underground. The underwater city's dome held together. The mining station slowly pulled away from the black hole's grip. But none of these are permanent solutions, protested one of the alien controllers. They don't need to be, Oliver said. They just need to work long enough for us to come up with better fixes. Sometimes a temporary solution saves lives. Ambassador Crystalline watched as humans and aliens worked together, learning from each other. The aliens were teaching humans about their advanced technology, while the humans showed them how to use it in creative, practical ways. This is more than just solving emergencies, Crystalline said to Ellie. You're teaching us a new way to think. As the immediate dangers passed, High Counselor Luminara called everyone together. Today we learned something important, she said. The human way of solving problems, quick, practical, and sometimes messy, has its place. Together with our technology and knowledge, it makes us stronger. Oliver looked at the tired but proud faces around him. Humans and aliens had worked side by side, saving thousands of lives. They had proven that both cultures had something valuable to offer. What happens next? He asked Ambassador Crystalline. Now, Crystalline replied, their crystal form glowing with excitement. We show the rest of the galaxy what we've learned. There's talk of starting a special academy, where humans and aliens can learn from each other. Ellie smiled. An academy where practical human thinking met advanced alien technology. That would change everything. The galaxy would never be the same. And somewhere, on a distant world, a young alien was already dreaming of studying Earth's messy but effective ways. 6 months after the multiple world crisis, Oliver stood in front of a large classroom on the Galactic Council's new training station. The room was filled with aliens of all shapes and sizes, each eager to learn human problem-solving methods. Today's lesson, Oliver said, holding up his trusted toolkit, is about improvising with what you have. In the back of the classroom, Ambassador Crystalline watched with interest. The training program had become more popular than anyone expected. Even species that first rejected human methods were now sending students. Meanwhile, in another part of the station, Ellie was teaching a group of alien medical students about Earth's approach to healthcare. She had set up a small garden where they grew Earth plants for medicine. Remember, she told her students, sometimes the old ways are the best ways. Earth plants have been making medicine longer than any of us have been making it in laboratories. One of her students, a young alien named James, raised his hand. Is it true that humans are starting to visit our worlds now? To learn from us too? Ellie smiled. The exchange of knowledge had gone both ways. Human engineers were learning about alien technology. Alien farmers were teaching humans about their plants. Both sides were growing stronger together. In the station's main hall, High Counselor Luminera met with Oliver and Ellie during their lunch break. The station's cafeteria now served both perfect alien food and slightly messy but delicious Earth dishes. The Council has made a decision, Luminera announced. We're expanding the program. We want to build training centers on Earth too. Oliver almost choked on his sandwich. On Earth. But it's too dangerous for most aliens. Exactly, Luminera said. Some of our young people want to experience the challenges of your world. They say it will make them stronger. It was true. The first brave aliens who visited Earth had returned changed. They learned to handle problems they never imagined. They discovered that living on a dangerous world made you more capable, more resilient. But we'll need to build special shelters for them, Ellie said, already thinking of solutions. Earth's gravity and atmosphere could hurt them. We'll combine our technology with your practical methods, Luminera replied. Perfect environments when needed, but not all the time. The news spread quickly through the galaxy. Soon, they had more volunteers than they could handle. Young aliens wanted to experience Earth's challenges. Human teachers wanted to learn alien science. In his evening class, Oliver watched an alien student successfully fix a broken machine using both high-tech tools and simple human methods. The student had found a way to combine both approaches, making something new and better. You've started something amazing, Ambassador Crystalline said, joining Oliver and Ellie as they watched the sunset through the station's windows. The view showed dozens of ships arriving, bringing new students from across the galaxy. We didn't do it alone, Ellie said. Everyone had to be willing to change, to learn new ways. The station's communication system beeped. More worlds were asking to join the program. Some wanted to learn human farming methods. Others wanted to study Earth's emergency response systems. A few brave ones even wanted to learn about Earth sports. Did you ever think, Oliver asked Ellie, that our messy human ways would become popular across the galaxy? Messy but effective, she replied with a laugh, just like Earth taught us to be. As they walked through the station that evening, they saw humans and aliens working together everywhere. In the engineering lab, they were designing new tools that combined alien precision with human practicality. In the medical bay, they were finding ways to use both advanced technology and natural remedies. The galaxy was changing, one lesson at a time. The old belief in perfect solutions was giving way to a new understanding that sometimes the best answer was a combination of both ways. And somewhere in the station, a young alien was teaching the human about their world's technology, while the human showed them how to fix it with duct tape when everything else failed. 5 years had passed since humans first joined the Galactic Council. Oliver and Ellie stood on the observation deck of Earth's new space station, watching ships arrive from all across the galaxy. Today was graduation day for the first class of the Combined Solutions Academy. "Remember when they used to call us Deathworlders?" Oliver asked, adjusting his formal uniform. The word that was once an insult had become a mark of respect. "Now they call us teachers," Ellie replied, smiling as she saw a group of alien students practicing Earth sports in the low-gravity chamber. They were wearing specially designed suits that let them experience some of Earth's challenging conditions. Ambassador Crystalline appeared beside them, their crystal form now decorated with Earth-style medals alongside alien honors. "The High Council is ready for the ceremony," they announced. The main hall was packed with beings from hundreds of worlds. High Counselor Luminera stood at the center, her glowing form bright with pride. The graduating class included both aliens and humans, all trained in what they now called the combined approach. 5 years ago, Luminera began her speech. "We thought perfection was the only way. We were wrong. The humans showed us that adaptability, creativity, and even a little mess can make us stronger." The screens around the hall showed images from the past 5 years. Alien farmers growing crops in Earth soil. Human doctors using advanced alien medical tools alongside traditional Earth medicines. Engineers from both cultures building new machines that were both highly advanced and easily fixable. "Today's graduates," Luminera continued, "represent the future. They understand both the precision of our technology and the practical wisdom of Earth." One by one, the graduates came forward. Each had a story to tell. An alien engineer who had learned to fix machines during an Earth earthquake. A human doctor who now used alien technology to make better natural medicines. A young alien who had become an expert in both Earth agriculture and advanced hydroponics. "But our greatest achievement," Luminera said, "isn't in the technology or the methods. It's in how we've learned to work together." She was right. Across the galaxy, things had changed. Space stations now had both computer systems and manual backups. Hospitals used the best of both worlds' medical knowledge. Farms combined advanced technology with natural methods. Oliver and Ellie watched proudly as their first students received their graduation certificates. These young beings would go out into the galaxy, spreading the combined knowledge further. "There's something else," Ambassador Crystalline said to them after the ceremony. "The Council has a new title for Earth. They want to call it the Teaching World." Oliver laughed. "Not bad for a planet that tries to kill us every day." "That's exactly why," Crystalline explained. "Your world taught you to be strong, clever, and adaptable. Now you're teaching those qualities to the galaxy." The celebration continued into the evening. In one corner, alien students were teaching humans their traditional dances. In another, human engineers were showing aliens how to use simple tools in creative ways. The station's kitchen served both perfectly prepared alien dishes and hearty Earth foods. "What's next?" Ellie asked, watching the happy crowd. "The Outer Rim worlds want to start their own academies," Crystalline said. "And some species that never talk to each other are now working together, thanks to your example." High Counselor Luminera joined them, holding something that made Oliver and Ellie gasp, a roll of duct tape made with advanced alien materials. "Sometimes," she said with a smile, "the perfect solution is the one that works, not the one that looks perfect." As the celebration went on, Oliver and Ellie looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, their students were already solving problems in new ways, combining the best of both worlds. The galaxy had changed, and it would never be the same. And on a distant planet, as a young alien fixed a broken machine with both high-tech tools and simple Earth methods, they smiled and thought about how sometimes the best solutions come from the most unexpected places, even from a deadly planet called Earth.